So one thing about Tori that's like really important to know is that it's something she once said that I always loved in an early interview back in her early days when she was more overtly weird in interviews. She would say, "I'm anchovies." And like and I think that's real. Like she's a very particular thing to put on your pizza.
She sure is.
What drew me to her is it like as a teenager, I needed a safe space to like process things. And I actually think that like if I had encountered Exile and Guyville at that time, I would not have been able to access it. That album was very much my 20s.
Yeah.
Like that was where I was dealing with like things that was a safer space for me to crawl inside of the sort of way that Liz was processing, you know, life and relationships and so forth. But as a teenager, Tori, just like that music, the magical nature of the music and the sort of inscrutable nature of a lot of the lyrics was like chef's kiss, exactly what I needed in order to explore and try, and also to imitate and to find my way into my own writing style, because I was writing during that time, but very rudderless and very much like didn't have much of a style.
Now that I think about it, Memory Song has that flowing.
So Memory Song is a direct imitation of Pretty Good Year.
5'4" high school gym, sneaking a cupcake. These are my memories. These are my memories. Shooting hoops off the rim, slow on the uptake. These are my memories. These are my memories.
Tears on the sleeve of a man. Don't wanna be a boy today. I heard the eternal footman bought himself a bike to race.
Okay.
Because it was the first song that I wrote music to. And so I didn't know how to write any music to a song. So I just took the thing that like was the most inspirational to me as far as a songwriter. And I said, I'm gonna do, you know, my version of that. Even though it sounds different, but the gestures there's similar gestures to how it goes. Because I was like, I want to write a song that makes me feel the way that song made me feel.
Yeah, absolutely.
When I first heard it.
That's what we do with our heroes. That's how we digest them and take the nutrients from them, right? And then let them you know, and grow from that. Over to your lyrics. Before we get into the songs you picked, I'll kick myself if I don't ask this. What do you think Cornflake Girl is about? because that was the only reason, because it's such a groove. I love that shuffle. It's basically the Purdy shuffle, which is Bernard Purdy is a drummer who played with Steely Dan. It's like this halftime groove, you know, like Rosanna is a halftime groove by Toto. You know, I love it. I love the rhythm. I love the stutter stepping into the chorus. This is not really happening.
You bet your life it is.
And again, like my intellectual need, my male left brain need to like understand what I'm talking about, especially when a woman is singing. Somehow, like I'll let Faith No More be all weird and stuff. But like with Tori Amos, I'm like, what are you talking about? And if I can't figure it out, I'm just going to leave it alone, you know?
So the interesting thing about what you just said is that like, I mean, I'm not gonna say this is the only reason why, but it may contribute to it. Is that part of the reason why like your male left brain is like, what is this? Is because that song is like literally about like super internal female politics. And yeah, this is something I only know from like having studied her so extensively.
Yeah, tell me about it.
And it's kind of, well, because.
Or do I need a card to get into this? I mean, is it
no,
is it a closed door session?
No. So one thing is that like, so one of the songs I sent you is called The Waitress.
Yeah.
which directly precedes Cornflake Girl on the album.
I want to kill this waitress. She's worked here a year, longer than I. If I did it fast, you know that's an act of kindness.
That song is literally the one that comes right before Cornflake Girl. And the two of those songs are kind of sisters.
Or a dyad, yeah.
Because about this idea of like of women betraying other women and like the sly ways they do it.
But I believe in peace. I believe in peace, bitch. I believe in peace.
And like her own perhaps ability to be a woman who betrays other women but doesn't think so. So like a Cornflake Girl is like literally like you remember how there used to be like pictures of like Mary Lou Retton or somebody like on the cover of Cornflakes? Cornflake Girl is like a girl that everybody's like thinks is so nice and is so sweet, but is actually like the worst person ever.
Hanging with like, who are the Raisin Girls?
And I think the Raisin Girls are like the girls that people don't care about.
They pick out of the cereal.
They pick out of the cereal.
Never was a cornflake girl. Thought that was a good solution, hanging with the Raisin Girls. She's gone to the other side, giving us a yo-heave-ho. Things are getting kind of gross, and I go and sleep.
And like, but she'd rather be a Raisin Girl than a Cornflake Girl. But again, but it's also, she's making her own language. She's creating her own iconography. She's like, and like if you watch the music video to it, it's particularly the European version, but like it's a little, I don't want to say it's clearer, but it's like she's being like very cheeky and very like vague and very kind of like artsy in her language choices. And it's just, and it can be frustrating, but that's like, you kind of have to like, just be, you either like go along for the ride,
well, and
anchovies, or you don't.
But I mean, but the Caesar dressing in which the anchovies are in is so delicious. And the croutons, I mean, You Bet Your Life It Is such a great hook. And the way she sings it, that melody is incredible. But then all of a sudden, like,
your life it is.
So funky, but then like, and this would always frustrate me, just as I'm getting into that groove and I'm like, okay, maybe I can understand what this song is about.
It's a peel out the watchword, just peel out the watchword.
Peel out the watchword?
Watchword.
Peel out the watchword.
Yeah, I don't know. I cannot, like, I can't tell you what that lyric means, but I feel like part of how some of her music works is that it's just about the fragments and about like, this is what it feels like to be in this experience of like, sometimes it's just not clear. I'm not saying it's not Joni Mitchell songwriting where it's like a David painting where it's like, clarity is like the thing.
And not everyone could get away with like, that's not a get out of jail free pass to be like, vague or whatever. Like if we were back in Bill Fenn's class and you came in every week and be like, it's like, what the hell is this? You'd be like, well, it's like a, you know, it's just, I'm just expressing what it's like to be confusing or confused. You'd be like, well, go do it somewhere else. Right.
But it's just, but that's like her thing. Like she's just a different kind of contemporary art.
But it does communicate something. It does.
It's,
because the characters that she plays throughout that with the different voices and stuff, and this is where the music comes in and lifts the lyric off the page, and the lyric isn't the lyric until the music gives it some luft, you know.
And she often says that she plays with words the way that men sometimes play pool, like it's just a game, like, and because she's a music first person, like that's just like her thing. and she has lyrical strengths and weaknesses, but like I just think that the music is like part of the key to it, and like
well, I can get that. Look, David Byrne, Talking Heads, not all the time, but on one album in particular, Remain in Light, his collaboration, when Brian Eno was producing them, they create these textured polyrhythmic beds of music, and then he just kind of associated it over.
Well, I'm a tumbler, born under punches. I'm so thin. All I want is to breathe. Won't you breathe with me?
They're a whole mood. Someone puts themselves in a feeling state and then lets the word generator just come, and the words become the texture. It's an approach to lyric writing that I could never do in a million years.
No, it's not my style either, but I think that she is just sometimes the song is like it's a puzzle, and it's like a puzzle that even when you put it together, it's an abstract painting, and that's what the art is. That's the kind of art that she makes. Exactly,
and puzzles are fun.
And sometimes it's
independent of the content.
And sometimes that puzzle is in relationship to all the things around it, which is why I say that it's kind of sisters to the Waitress, which is, I think, a little clearer, but or at least it's more direct.
Well, it is a story. It is a story, like
a story.
The Waitress she's been working here longer than me or something,
but that is also a metaphor. It's all a metaphor, because it's like
what's it a metaphor?
I think it's the same. I think it's a metaphor for like different women's relationship to men. So like, for example, it's kind of like how, and it's relevant to bring up Courtney Love actually very specifically, because Courtney Love in Celebrity Skin says model, actress, hooker, waitress, model, actress, just go nameless.
When I wake up in my makeup, have you ever felt so used up as this? It's also sugarless. Hooker, waitress, model, actress, just go nameless. Honeysuckle.
Like, she's basically saying all women in that lyric are like, we're in this category of four things. And like, Tori Amos is singing, I want to kill this waitress. She's worked here a year longer than I. That can, yes, be a literal waitress, but it also could just be another woman. Boys all think she's living kindness. Ask a fellow waitress. And it's relevant to bring up Courtney Love because allegedly, so on that album, Tori sang a song called Past Ignition with Trent Reznor.
Past the mission, behind the prison door. Past the mission, I once knew a hot girl. Past the mission, the closing every hour. Past the mission, and I smell the roses.
And they had some sort of dalliance that allegedly was broken up by Courtney Love.
And Tori covered Smells Like Teen Spirit, as well as, I just have to say, and I gained undying respect for her, even if I kept her at arm's length, when she covered Slayer's Raining Blood. Raining Blood.
Yeah.
Amazing cover.
Raining blood from a lacerated skin.
Raining blood from a lacerated sky, bleeding into horror.
good at covers because she spent like all those years doing them, both as a child in the gay bars, and then part of her adult life, she would play at like the Marriott. Like she was like and she actually wrote her memoir, which I haven't read yet. She would play in the DC area where people like Tip O'Neill and other 80s politicos and their mistresses and all these people would come and do their thing, their like cocktail hour, doing deals in Iran Contra and all this stuff, and she would just be like playing piano and listening to them. And so I need to read her book because she talks a lot about that. But like anyway, so the Waitress and Cornflake Girl are they're kind of sisters, and so
very interesting,
and kind of like these like kind of metaphorical kind of impressionistic paintings that you just have to kind of like just sit with and inside for a while.